So they don't tell you that. So you have to understand that there's been a real big shift in the growth patterns of human beings. And that has also been created because of this illusion that people play games with. It's very dangerous, known as time. So I'm going to talk about that just very superficially, but you got to learn how to tell time. And I'll just state to you in summary, there's only two times, nighttime and daytime. And if you're going to be on this planet for a long period of time, that can be the only time that you tell, because that determines your endocrine function. And if you reset and recalibrate your timing mechanism on a machine, you're going to have problems. Okay. So this is the gold rush. Okay. It's real important to understand that this is the gold rush. Okay. The genetic gene pool of the African is the gold rush, and this is the bottom line that actually sets the tone for what modern industry thinks that they're going to be making sextillions of dollars for the next century or so. It's known as genomics. And whoever has access to this gene pool has access to an unlimited resource of whatever they can create, from computers to tissues to all kinds of materials and substances in this dimension, because the human being is the totality of all creation here. So now, for those of you who can get to a sequoia tree or an oak tree, have a meditation with it, and it'll tell you. Because that's one of the things I got real clear and sealed about, because you can't tell me, and this talks about having to confront these religious beliefs, is that, you can't tell me that we're made in the likeness of the Creator, and yet and still people are struggling to try to stay here on a day-to-day basis, let alone to 70 years old. But a sequoia tree can stand here for 3,200 years. I mean, see, there's a problem with that. So you have to basically ask what the deal is. Why can a sequoia tree be here for 3,200 years and you're struggling to stay here day to day? And again, because everything communicates, okay? The tree will tell you that it doesn't deny who it is. That's your big problem. You do. And so once you understand who you are and stand in that, then the attributes that you have as yourself actually will unfold. So let's just look at this. This came from some work from Timothy Leary, and he and Lorenz and some other people were thrown in prison for this, so that this could actually stay underground about brain development, because the key is in your head. Okay, you have a brain that is to be developed completely, and in doing so, you will then actualize the traits of the X-Men and women, the Matrix, Lawnmower Man. All of these things are actually showing you that as you actualize these segments of your brain, these are the traits that are available to you. Being able to merge and walk through walls, etc. is nothing. You're supposed to do that. To be able to fly, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be able to emit through your physical tissues any frequency of the electromagnetic spectrum, cosmic waves, radio waves. All these things are part of your makeup that you're supposed to have dominion over. So therefore, as our children now are coming with the capacity to interact in these higher frequencies, how are you going to deal with them? Now, I understand from a very scientific level why, especially in the United States, I don't know if this is going on here, why the rights of the parents were taken away from the children. Because space stations have already been built in outer space. We have been influenced heavily by alien, quote unquote, technology since the late 40s in America. A lot of the stuff that you're standing around in came from alien contribution. So therefore, you have to understand the children are the interface for this dimension with other dimensions that are already known. And so therefore, with you having unfortunately been used for war, research for chemistry, etc., have really retarded and jaded, it appears, your neurologic development. And as these children begin to express themselves and honor themselves in the best way they can understand based on their neurologic activity, it is quite threatening for most of you. And so therefore, banging on them, verbally abusing them, etc., sets them up where it shuts them down from their continued neurologic progress. That can't be, because we know you can't handle the new environments in space. So therefore, we're relying on the children to be able to do this, and you cannot continue to traumatize them. Literally, that's what's been written. So there's many, many agendas going on. This is like a huge onion with all of these different onion peels, and the general public really is not even seeing through the skin. You know, the little dried up thin skin of how heavy this onion is as to what's going on and the plans that have been made for your children. Now you have to understand that what they are and what they're able to do now comes from you as the parent, but your growth and development has been arrested for many reasons. One of the things that I like about being human is that you can wake up anytime. Anytime. So understand that, you know, the story hasn't been told yet, but somebody has to basically shove you and give you a little jolt and ask you, do you want to wake up? Okay, but the children have a whole different level of entertainment that they're dealing with. You know, the X-Men reality, etc. Have you all seen that yet? Yeah, the X-Men reality, they look at that every day on the TV. I mean, so they're used to recognizing that we can generate energy, okay, that we basically can appear and disappear, that there are people from other dimensions, etc. And if you're still struggling with how you want to pay the lights, okay, you're in two different worlds, okay, and you have to recognize that because of that, you can become very dangerous to a potential entity that is going to interface in this dimension. I'm telling you, it's serious. So let's look at this real quick. Much of the conflict and confusion which characterizes the current human plight can be gentled and clarified if we accept the fact that we are genetically very different from each other and inexorably pre-programmed by DNA templates to evolve in many different directions. Now, I just got a chance to go to the glacier in the United States here, Mount Rainier, in Seattle, Washington, right outside Seattle, Washington. And the clouds were over the glacier. They call it a mountain, but it's really a glacier, okay? But at the base of this glacier, I have never had the opportunity to see meadows so beautiful with my own eyes. I've seen pictures of meadows, but I've never seen it with my own eyes, all these wonderful flowers. And it was incredible to recognize that all of these flowers were standing there next to each other. They had different type petals, they were different height, they gave off different aromas, they had different leaves and different leaf shapes, but they were standing next to each other, just like you're all sitting next to each other. And nobody was trying to dominate anybody else. They was on the same land, on the same side of this glacier, under the same sunlight, inhaling and exhaling the same air. And I thought it was really cute because the really little teeny short flowers, a little yellow flower, I didn't get the name of it, was actually the border along the path because it was the smallest. And so as I looked for miles as we walked, this flower was always on the border. And I said, well, you know, is it really possible that the flowers are even courteous among themselves, that they know that this is a smaller one, that they let it be in the front so they can have this little room to grow, because the others were much taller. So I'm just saying that there appeared to be a humanity. You know, it appeared to definitely recognize the fact that, you know, I'm purple over here, she's blue, they're red, I'm yellow, and it was okay. It was like okay, and they were all basically partaking from the elements as they needed it. So as I looked at this for miles, you know, it finally dawned on me that, you know, can human beings finally get it? Okay, that if they can focus on being themselves and not be over here looking at what I got and worshiping for it, and vice versa, and allow me to have what I need to develop to be the best I can be, guess what? We can all become intergalactic beings. Okay, and it's your destiny whether you want to do it this lifetime or 500 lifetimes from now. You must become intergalactic. I can tell you that right now. So the evolutionary progress schedules mutation with a relentless continuity. Every living organism plays a part in the evolutionary design. And see, and this is why going around killing up each other is so detrimental. We caused ourselves a real big setback when the Native American Indians were eradicated from America. That made a big flaw in what was supposed to be happening here. Okay, you cannot continue to go around killing people, and I'm saying this to you as women especially, is that you have to deal with the consequences of allowing your seed to be used to actually smite the son or daughter of another being. You can never do that, and if a woman doesn't stand for that, that whatever comes out of your uterus, it has to be raised, and it can never raise its hand to smite another being. You smite yourself. And so it has amazed me as I've sat in America and looked at these war films, because I tried to understand. I understand World War I, II, the coming of World War III. The book is already written. The Civil War. I'm like, the Korean War. It's like, I don't understand any of them. What is it? And when I talk to the people, they didn't even understand why they were there. I'm like, you cannot give me an intelligent rendition, a schemata of why you went to war, why you're sitting here without an arm or leg. I mean, you have to understand that that says a lot about the value of an individual. Okay, and when I look at the women who participated in this, they're having a whole big resurrection to, there's a name